Instagram is one of the most powerful platforms for brand growth, but most businesses are leaving serious money on the table. Not because they're not trying, but because they're unknowingly making strategic mistakes, especially ones that look like good marketing on the surface. These aren't beginner missteps. These are the quiet killers, the ones that flatten ROI, tank conversion rates, and cause brands to burn budget on content that doesn't even perform. In this video, we're breaking down the 5 biggest mistakes in influencer marketing on Instagram that are costing your company millions. And more importantly, the strategic fixes that can turn things around fast. Let's get into it. Let's start with one of the most common mistakes and the most expensive one: prioritizing aesthetics over performance. Designing for the feed instead of the results. Marketers spend hours curating the perfect grid, consistent filtered, branded color palette, a layout that looks straight out of a mood board, and visually it works, but performance-wise, not so much. Here's a real example from Sijo Home. This is a luxury sleep brand with a beautiful curated Instagram page. The visuals are super clean, high-end, and obviously a priority. But despite their aesthetic, their posts are getting less than 10 likes. So it's clear that the visual branding alone isn't enough. Let's take a look at the Instagram page of Duolingo. Now you can obviously tell that they don't care as much about their feed, their aesthetic, whatever. However, they're one of the most successful examples of a brand page on Instagram. And so why does this happen? Because Instagram used to reward beautiful content, but in 2025, the algorithm and user behavior prioritized engagement. People want relatable, high-impact content and not brand museum walls. So here's how to fix it. You don't need to abandon your visual style, but you do need to shift from pretty to effective. Start by creating posts that spark comments, likes, saves, shares, testing UGC, storytelling formats, and just like native, realistic, real-feeling reels. And make sure that you're judging your content by its outcome: clicks, visits, DMs, and not just likes. And if you're working with an influencer, don't just check if their feed is on brand. Check whether their audience is actually engaging. Because here's the harsh truth: not all engagement is equal. You might find a creator with 200,000 followers and a strong engagement rate, but if their audience is made up of bots or users in the wrong region, you're paying for attention that will never convert. This is one of the most costly mistakes that brands make on Instagram: hiring influencers based on numbers and not relevance. On the surface level, high numbers look safe. Follower count is also very easy to understand, but underneath that, audience quality is so underlooked, especially when you're in a rush to launch a campaign. So how do you fix this? You're gonna need to dig deeper. Check audience location. Is their audience in the right place? Check their authenticity. Is their audience even real? Are their followers real? Are they just bots? Even the comments. Are the comments legit, or is it all just like 3 fire emojis? And make sure you're also checking their demographic. I'm talking about the age, the gender, language, and interest. Now moving on to mistake number 3. Reels aren't just a trend. They're actually Instagram's top discovery engine. But many brands are still stuck in a content mix that's like 80% static. They're pushing carousels, product shots, and graphics, while their competitors are racking up reach, engagement, and conversions through short format videos. And why does this happen? Because Reels can feel really intimidating. They often seem like they're really high effort, or that they're just unpredictable, or maybe even too informal for some brands. But skipping them is like ignoring SEO in 2010. It limits your growth runway. So here's what you need to know. Your reels don't have to be perfect. They just have to be watchable, relatable, and natural. So here's how to shift. Partner with creators who excel in short format content, and make sure that you're reusing your top performing reels across all channels and paid campaigns. A brand that really understands the power of reels is Summer Fridays. Their product launches consistently show up in short form video, and it's made by creators, not people who feel like actors.
Summer Fridays is the most raved about lip balm, and I don't necessarily understand why, so we're gonna give this one a try. I love that little curve and giving my lip a hug. I think it gives just a little bit of color. I think it smells like cherry. Everyone's like, oh my god, this lip balm changed my lip. It's a good lip balm.
These aren't polished commercials. They're natural and they're story-driven reels. And it really sparks conversation. And it's made by creators, not people who feel like actors. So that's what's making it land. Let's move on to mistake number 4, which is treating organic and paid content the same. Boosting a post and running a paid ad is not the same thing. And yet, many brands repurpose organic content into paid campaigns without adjusting for their platform's dynamic. It leads to underperforming ads, weak ROAs, and just frustration about why did this good content not work. Well, when something works well organically, it's tempting to just throw money behind it. But paid strategy requires different hooks, different timing, and different creative testing. So this is how you need to separate your strategy. For organic, focus on community, relatability, and storytelling. But for paid, you're going to want to optimize for scroll stopping intros, clear CTAs, and measurable ROI. And also just something I need to put in there because I feel like even though it's very well known, make sure you have the right proper usage rights and that the content was built to convert. And for our last and final mistake, it's not tracking content performance across partnerships. You'd be surprised about how many brands run an influencer campaign, screenshot a few stats, and then just move on. Without a real understanding of did this content even work, the result, no benchmark, and no repeatability. And there's just no way to optimize for future campaigns. And why does this happen? Because reporting just takes time, especially when you're working with 5 or 10 creators at once. Manually tracking performance post by post quickly becomes chaos, but skipping it means flying blind. In order to fix it, you're gonna need a centralized system, something that shows which post formats work the most, which creators consistently outperformed, and what type of messaging in these campaigns actually converted. And that's why I wanna mention Favikon, because it's not just for finding influencers. It's also a campaign management tool as well. You can track posts across every creator, export performance data, and just manage your partnerships all in one place. So there's no need for screenshots and no need for guesswork. But here's the thing, most brands don't fail on Instagram because they're lazy. They fail because they don't have the right visibility. Beautiful content, big audiences, viral reels, none of it matters without the ability to track performance, understand audience fit, and optimize based on data. So if you're running Instagram campaigns regularly, it's worth checking out Favikon. We even have a free Google Chrome extension to help brands and marketers vet creators on a fly. I'll add the link in the description. Thanks for watching, and please go ahead, fix those revenue leaks, and turn your Instagram strategy into a real growth channel. I'll see you in the next video.